All right, would y'all say we pick it back up just a little bit?
There's so many butts on me. Oh my God.
Well, I guess someone's really fucking shooting, huh? I'm fucking getting this, babe.
Happening, and there was very short increments where there was breaks in between the shots, but it literally felt like it just continued for 20 minutes straight. And every time there was a break, we ran and we ran, and I still wasn't even sure if it was actually bullets until one of the times we paused, our friend was like, the guy next to us got shot. But we went back because I'm a nurse and I just felt that I had to. So I went to 3 different scenes. The first one was okay. The second one was worse. And by the time I got to the third one, there was just dead bodies. Like, there was like 6, and they were all young people. So there were so many people, just normal citizens, doctors, cops, paramedics, like nurses, just off duty. Everyone was just communicating and working together. You got this person, you got this person, you got this person. It was completely horrible, but it was absolutely amazing to see all the people come together.
Well, you were at the event?
Yeah, well, I was at New York, New York.
Oh, in New York, New York. That was right across the street.
Yeah, there was like stampedes and stuff like that. Like,
And now there's nothing. There's people walking all over the place.
So you saw stampede coming out? You saw the stampede?
I was in several stampedes.
You were in several. So did you see people fall down? And
okay, so I wasn't like in a huge one. I was in the ones inside the casino inside New York, New York.
Oh, so they were actually.
But there was people falling down. There was people running downstairs.
Yeah,
like,
even in New York, and there was no shooter in New York.
MGM.
Yeah, I know.
MGM
but all the
in New York,
security
New
guards
York.
were tripping everybody out.
They were on the
That's what
news.
if that's the case, then that's what happened.
I see.
And I was there, and they were like, I don't know, everything would be fine, and then all of a sudden everybody would just start running.
So the security guards were almost panicking people.
The security guards were panicking people. It wasn't, yeah.
That's at New York, New York, and you were
Yeah.
in one of those small
And
stampedes.
and
At New York, New
yeah,
York.
they were pretty much trapping everybody in there or whatever. But I didn't want to be trapped in there, so like I left with a couple people.
Were you able to go out like a side door or something?
One of the kitchen workers showed us a way out.
So you got out with a kitchen worker.
Yeah.
Oh, so.
Well, they weren't controlling anybody, but
They
like
said,
everybody was
"We'd
looking
rather
for
you
them
stay."
for advice because
Yeah,
they
we'd
were the
rather you
ones
stay,
running the
but
show.
you can leave if you want.
I got
now
it.
they tell me, I think they went down, my daughter went in with security and they're not letting anybody leave.
So you went out the side door with one of the cooks. One of the,
Right. They said, if you want to leave, come here. And then he took like me and 2 other people.
Did you have to walk across Tropicana here? Or how did you get across Tropicana?
Yeah, I walked all the way over here to the In-N-Out.
Okay.
I went through the parking garage to here.
I see. And this
From
was
what,
about,
from
this
New
about an
York,
hour
New
ago.
York?
This has been an hour, right?
Yeah,
I have another witness. Can I ask you a question? Do you mind? Can you come over here? I'm sorry, your name?
Michelle.
Michelle, I'm Adam. I'm sorry to meet you in these circumstances. Can you stand over here with him? You were inside the concert?
Yeah, we're vendors with a concert product booth inside.
Obviously, it was a 3-day festival. It had been going really well. It was at the very end. You were in your booth?
Yeah, Jason Aldean was playing and we were in our booth and we thought it was fireworks. And then it just didn't stop. And I'm like, Debbie, that's not fireworks. And then people started running and we asked what was going on and they said it was a shooter. And then we realized it sounded like machine guns. It sounded like more than one machine gun. And it just didn't stop, like 30 minutes.
What'd you guys do?
We were hiding in a beer truck behind our booth and in a Budweiser truck for about 30 minutes. And
Did they come and get you, or did you guys just, when it stopped, did you guys get out on your own?
It was mass chaos. You couldn't tell the difference between people that knew what was going on and people that were adding more confusion. So we didn't know what to do. We just stayed there for about half hour.
Did you see anybody injured? Anybody?
Yeah. We saw people getting thrown inside a pickup truck that were hurt, and people that were thrown inside of SUVs that were hurt. But I don't know any more than that. We're actually watching the news ourselves to find out how to leave the area. So.
Well, I can tell you the strip this way is closed. If you can make your
cars,
you're not going to get your car out for a while, so you might want to make. It's not going to happen for a while. If you go over towards Hooters Hotel, that's where they've got it blocked off. On the other side, you could probably get out from over there. I know there's some other cars over there.
Yeah, Christine, we're still here on Hacienda and Polaris. I was talking to one of the witnesses here. We were watching that press conference live on our cell phones on the Fox 5 app. And I just want to come over here and ask you, you were sharing your story with me off camera before this, and you heard the sheriff say just one shooter, believed to be, that's it, and that he's dead. Tell me what you saw and what you heard. You were at the festival.
Yeah, well, I was obviously just enjoying my time listening, and from behind me there was a girl that was like 5 feet away, and I immediately heard like a noise that sounded like a glass that dropped, or one of those, things that you throw on the ground like fireworks, and it was extremely loud. That was one shot. And then after I saw that and people crowding around her, then I heard open fire, like a bunch of it in the middle of the crowd. Took off running for my life after that, but the fact that they're trying to say that there's one shooter, it makes sense if there was a sniper. There's multiple gunmen.
So you think there's more than one,
Yeah,
based on what you heard and saw?
Absolutely, and I felt like the shots would never end. Even when I was trying to run, get as far away as I could, it seemed like there was someone constantly right behind me, it was nonstop. So I don't feel like there would be one shooter.
What did you do after that? How much ground did you cover to get to where you and I are standing right now?
I mean, I had to climb over fences. I hopped in a random person's car with at least 20 people in the car. I watched that car hit a girl that fell on the ground to get through a fence, ran through the airport, called my stepdad to come pick me up. I ended up on Paradise and Tropicana, and then I'm here now, obviously waiting to get my car, which is at Mandalay.
So how did you get off the strip? It sounds like you had to run quite a way.
I feel like I ran for 30 minutes, to be honest, and that's why it seemed like it was never ending, and that's why it wouldn't make sense if there's one shooter. The rounds kept going on, and it felt like someone was chasing me.
How much time do you have to think in a situation like this? We've been talking to a lot of people who were at Mandalay Bay, but they weren't at the festival. They heard what was going on downstairs, but you were down there.
I mean, I was right there. I honestly could be dead because I saw someone 5 feet away from me fall to the ground, but you have no time to think. I literally took off and I left multiple friends, which I feel horrible about, but you don't think. You just run and try to live. All I was thinking about was living. Machine guns going off nonstop, and that's mainly what I heard. Aside from the one shot that I saw from the girl that fell behind me, and that was the first shot I heard the whole night. She could have been the first person that was shot the whole night. But that's mainly what I heard. Aside from the one shot that I saw from the girl that fell behind me, and that was the first shot I heard the whole night. She could have been the first person that was shot the whole night. But that's mainly what I heard. Aside from the one shot that I saw from the girl that fell behind me, and that was the first shot I heard the whole night. She could have been the first person that was shot the whole night. But that, and then multiple rounds, and I took off running. But even when I was pretty much inside the airport, I could still hear rounds going off. So honestly, I thought there was multiple shooters. And people thought they were being chased. I thought I was being chased.
You and I were just listening to this press conference. At first they were saying just at UMC 2 dead and maybe a couple dozen injured, and we just heard that number spike quite a bit. More than 20 dead, more than 100 people injured. What was your reaction when you heard that first number and then that second number?
Well, 2 dead sounds idiotic and unrealistic completely. I mean, the open fire was in the middle of the crowd during the headliner. People probably instantly were killed. Way more than, it had to be 20 people instantly killed. So 2 dead sounds ridiculous.
And you saw all of this because you were right in the middle of it.
Yeah. Well, I saw one person fall right behind me, but then after that, it's just panic and climbing over fences to like literally survive. People pushing each other. I had a man step over me to get over me.
How hard is it to leave your friends behind? I'm sure so many people get lost in the chaos.
It's very hard, and you're not thinking about any of that when you're running, though. I was definitely not on my phone. I mean, you call them once you get to a safe spot, which I had friends that were hiding out in an airport hangar for a good minute. But you never think this is going to happen to you or your city, or especially when you're at a country festival.
You were also telling me you're celebrating a birthday, huh?
Yeah, well, I got invited tonight to celebrate my birthday. That was yesterday, so this was my birthday present from my friend.
Sorry, this was how it had to happen, and I really appreciate you taking the time to tell us your story.
Thank you.
This is the first person we've seen out here on Polaris and Hacienda that's actually been at the actual festival and is a witness to what it sounds like was the first shot, or at least the very first few shots there. Just a lot of shock listening to that press conference. It's one thing to hear the numbers, it's another thing to actually see the people.
That's mainly what I heard, aside from the one shot that I saw from the girl that fell behind me, and that was the first shot I heard the whole night. She could have been the first person that was shot the whole night. But that's mainly what I heard, aside from the one shot that I saw from the girl that fell behind me, and that was the first shot I heard the whole night. She could have been the first person that was shot the whole night. But that's mainly what I heard, aside from the one shot that I saw from the girl that fell behind me, and that was the first shot I heard the whole night. She could have been the first person that was shot the whole night.
One of my all-time favorite guests. You'd be surprised how many requests I've had to bring back Stephanie. How are you, Stephanie?
I'm doing fine, Jason. I haven't told the story in a while. But obviously I was there celebrating my birthday, hanging out in the VIP. It was close to the ending. Jason Aldean was playing. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I hear a huge, loud firecracker or something that almost sound the equivalent of someone like maybe throwing a bottle on the ground. Mm-hmm. I turn around, which actually the video you were about to be showing right here is where I turn around, and I'm in the background right behind my two friends right there, mm-hmm. looking at where this loud noise came from. So I'm turned around looking at it, as I'm trying to see what happened, and as I see a woman that's on the ground and people are assisting her, almost immediately right after tons of rounds start going off, and I immediately bolted. I left all my friends that are right there. Mm-hmm. From there, just climbed several walls, climbed many different fences, jumped in a random person's car, ended up in the airport hangar, then on the tarmac, and then obviously I got picked up from my stepfather. But this clip.
It was utter chaos, right? We saw in the clip that there's a woman in the background. It's a little difficult to see.
Go forward a little bit more. You see that right there. I'm the one that's not this female right there, but yeah, over to the left a little bit. I'm the one right next to her, and I'm looking right over there. And that's the story, I had told everybody since the moment I got picked up, and since the moment I talked to anybody about the shooting. I was like, I saw someone get hit from the very first shot. And no one believed me because they thought, it was all rapid gun, just like one machine gun going off. And I was like, no, there was a couple single shots.
And we see these guys ducking down right here to attend to someone.
Yeah, so they're helping someone that shot hit. And I don't know if those were testing shots or someone was, aiming and, seeing their ranging their gun. But I think that's pretty significant that there was some single shots beforehand. And aside from that, as I was running, it completely sounded like the gunfire was ground level, multiple shooters, because it was coming from different directions. Mm-hmm. Not in 1 second in my mind did I ever think anything was coming from Mandalay Bay.
Right.
Maybe I thought, there could have been a sniper from that one single shot. But the second I called my mom, which was the first person I called and texted, I was like, oh my God, there's a terrorist attack. Because in your head,